Visible?
Yeah, you can actually see it.
So it was a ghost?
Yeah, and it seems like the property is 100% haunted. Like
Wow.
it's declared that it is haunted.
I was imagining the story when you were telling it, and oh, it was so scary.
Today it's gonna be my turn.
Hmm.
I'm gonna tell you a story, and then at the end of the day, I want you
Uh-huh.
and you to tell me if it's a horror story or if it's a crime story or it's something else. But let me tell you, there are gonna be twists in this story.
Wow.
Okay?
Okay.
Okay, let's go.
Let's go.
All right. This story starts with a family, a very picture perfect family.
Hmm.
Okay, this family is, it's a small nuclear family with a father, a mother, two kids,
Okay.
two girls.
Huh.
The father is Chris Watts.
Hmm.
The mother is, I think her name is Shannon Watts. And there are two kids, that's Cece and Bella.
Hmm.
Okay, and they're very tiny kids, like I think 4 or 5 years old.
Hmm.
And this picture perfect happy family
Mhm.
on pictures and photos, right? They look very cute and very nice. But this family has like a dark secret, okay, which we are going to reveal today in our podcast.
Oh, super.
All right. So,
Huh.
this is not the end. Like, this is not just 4 members. They have a fifth fifth member on the way. So, which means the mother, Shannon Watts, is actually pregnant.
She's pregnant.
She's pregnant. And from what people around them tell us, we know that Shannon is a very extroverted person. Okay, in the couple, and the husband, her husband, Chris Watts, on the other hand, is a very introverted person. He's very shy, very composed, and very opposite to what and how she is. So this story starts with a CCTV camera right outside the Watts family, which captures Shannon Watts coming back from somewhere. Okay, around evening-ish, 6-7 p.m. She's coming back, and she's opening the door. So this is what the CCTV has captured. And on the same day, she and her kids are going to go missing. Okay. So the
This
family.
CCTV camera, is it inside the house or outside?
Yeah, usually like in houses in US, Canada, houses, not apartments, they have these little cameras right at the door to capture
The door
who comes,
camera.
yeah,
Okay.
who comes to the door, right? So that camera has captured this footage. So this family is very well settled. Both the husband and wife have like great careers. The kids are very happy. It's like I said, a picture perfect family. But one day, something goes wrong between them. Okay, because Shannon Watts gets to know that her husband, Chris Watts, has been cheating on her. Okay, out of nowhere. Like, imagine the woman's situation when she gets to know this. It's really heartbreaking.
Yeah.
So she finds out, and she breaks down, and she literally goes to him, and she confronts him, and she's like, how the hell can you do this to me? And seems like he was having an affair with his secretary back at work.
Okay.
Right? And what the police reports say, that he had completely he was like a puppy to that secretary. Because he's an introverted person, right? He had like completely lost it to her, and seems like he was in love with her. Okay. So Shannon finds out, and she screams and she yells at him, and then there is like this huge fight that even the girls witness because they are at home. And he just says like, you're not enough, and he is blasting her back. And this whole fight is going on, and she is like, she though they kind of reconcile sort of for their girls, they don't really actually ever get over it. They never move on from it. Okay. He is always thinking, like is she gonna be always doubting me? And on the other hand, she's thinking like, is he cheating on me? Like they never get over that feeling. And it seems in the fight, just to make him feel bad, she also said, if I was to do this to you, what would you feel? Right? And in that, he also was feeling a little insecure. Again, an introverted person tries to keep everything within himself. He is feeling at this point that she might actually cheat on him. And he doesn't want that for obvious reasons. But again, so this happens, and this tension is there between them for quite some time. Okay, and one day she is so frustrated with this whole chaos that is happening. She doesn't tell the kids. She doesn't tell the she doesn't tell the kids. She doesn't tell the husband. She just packs her bags and she goes off with her girls for like some relaxation, some time away from all this chaos.
Simply to get away from that.
Exactly, just to get away from all the chaos in the house. She just wants to take a break from this guy, and she's already 6 months pregnant. And she goes off for this trip. Chris comes back home and she's not there, and he is all furious. Like, where is she? Like, she didn't even inform, and she's not picking up her phone. But I believe somehow he gets to know that she's on a girls' trip, and she's left the kids back behind and him behind, and she's gone on a trip. This makes him really mad. Also, given the reason that she said, what if I cheat on you? How would you feel? That also is running at the back of his head, and this whole scenario is also going on that she's gone to a trip and she's not even told me. She's left the kids behind. This is not right and whatnot. After a few days, this anger is still in him. After a few days, she comes back home. And that's the CCTV footage that I was telling you about. So she comes back home.
So how many days did she go on a trip?
I'm not sure. I think a few days. I really don't know how many days exactly, but a few days. And she comes back home. You can see in that CCTV footage that she is like pregnant. 6 months is a lot.
Okay.
The woman actually shows it shows that she's 6 months pregnant, and she's coming back home. She opens the door and she gets in. The next day, the wife and the 2 kids go missing.
Next day only?
Yeah, next day. Next day, they're missing. Okay, and obviously, Chris being the first, how do I say, like the father, the police obviously come to Chris and they're like, what happened? Where did I go? And he tells that we had an argument last night and she just left. I don't know where she went with the kids, but she just left. And he kind of tries to make up a story that, maybe she went to her parents. Like, I don't know where she went. Like, she was really mad. So I don't know where she went. And you can see in that interview, we'll try and put a video, but we'll see in that interview that he's very fidgety. He's very he keeps shifting, and it shows like he's uncomfortable having this conversation
with the police.
And he's very fidgety. And he is saying all these things about the family, about the girls. He's kind of explaining they were studying in school. He was speaking in past tense when he's speaking of them, and that also caught the police's attention. Right? So they inevitably couldn't, they had to take him in. They had to take him to the station to talk more. So he was like the prime suspect in this whole thing because there was nobody else who could be suspected. So they take him. He is sitting there with 2 policemen. Two police people, because there's a lady and a man. And he's like having this conversation, and they use certain techniques. You remember, like the good cop, bad cop techniques?
I know that.
Yeah. So they use those kind of techniques also to kind of get the truth out of these culprits.
So they'll give those false promises that if you tell me this, I can help you out in getting less sentence or something like that.
Yeah, they use that, and then when there are two cops, the one cop will be like, banging the table and being very rude and aggressive, and the other cop is like, just don't do this to him. I'll talk to him. He'll talk. That kind of chemistry they kind of exhibit, and a lot of times victims, not victims, culprits actually break down at this point. Because it's human nature, because there's already so much going on in their heads, right? And they just want to get it over with, and that's why they just confess. That's what happens a lot of times. So yeah, this all this is happening, and the police they're quite sure that he's did something and he's hiding something. So they go over and ask him for a polygraph. You know what's a polygraph?
No, I don't know.
So there is this test that the police do, wherein certain little equipments are attached to the person's chest or brain, and on the head, and they ask questions.
Oh, it's like a lie detector
Sort of,
kind
yeah.
of things. Okay.
Yeah, but similar, exactly. And they will have these little things that they put over their head, their chest, just to monitor.
So it takes the signals, like if you lie, it'll give a different signal, but if he's telling truth, it'll show another signal.
Exactly.
So I think that one.
Yeah, exactly. And this one usually is scientific, right? Like when you are panicking about somebody asking you questions like these, your brain and your heartbeat, everything is gonna change, and that is the signal that is captured. So he agrees to a polygraph. Okay, maybe he thinks that maybe I can say that lie calmly, and I will not get caught.
It won't detect. Okay.
Yeah. So he goes into a polygraph, and there the police start obviously asking questions, and they're very calm and they're very composed. Like they never talk like you're the culprit. They always ask very simple, straightforward questions. Are you did you tell us that did you lie to us when you told about your wife and your kids? Things like that. So they are very straightforward when they ask these questions. They ask him certain number of questions when they are kind of interviewing him or whatever, like the polygraph thing. And at the end of the polygraph, it's a very quick result. You get to know then and there, and it seems like he was lying. And the operator who's getting all this done just tells him at the end, like, you have failed your polygraph. You're being dishonest. And what is that? Let us know. He does not break even then. Parallelly, obviously, there is on-site police also at the house, right? And there, the neighbor of this guy, he had like proper CCTV cameras on his property, and he shows the police that this guy was actually loading something into his truck.
Okay.
In the middle of the night, and you can see him after some time even pulling back and coming back home. Now, he didn't reveal the police he went out somewhere last night, so that's again suspicious. So they get back to him, right? And you can see there is a little footage of even like the body cam. Police have this body cam. There's a footage capture of the neighbor also, who says that this guy never speaks, and today he's talking so much. Makes me very suspicious about him. Like, you guys really need to look at this guy with a eye of suspicion, because there's something definitely wrong with him. So all this is happening, and parallelly the police also use a master move. They call this guy Chris's father to the police station, and this father is very calmly telling, like, see Chris, tell us if there is anything, just tell it, it's fine, like we can at least get over it. Otherwise you will get caught in this system, and you will never, like, you will never even face you will never get closure also. Like, tell us what happened. So the police come back with the evidence that the neighbor got, and they add fuel to the fire. They'll be like, see, we found this also, where did you go last night? So all this chaos is happening, and this guy, I don't know if it was premedicated, if he had planned all this, we don't know, but he gets like, he just wants to get it over with. So he tells his father a story. Okay, he just tells his father that, see, last night we had an argument when she came back home, and she got really mad, like really mad, and in that like psychotic anger that she got, she actually just killed the kids.
Who?
The mother.
The mother killed the kids.
Shannon killed the kids. And I got so angry at her, like, I came in to the room of the kids and I saw them dead. I was like, what the hell? I was like, what the hell? And I went back to her and confronted her, and she was like, I'm so angry at you. I don't want them to live. I don't want to live myself. And she was getting this whole psychotic rage. And that's why, because I was hurting that my kids are dead, I killed her. That's what happened. So the police are like, okay, fine, you did it. Fine. But where are the bodies? And then he says that I went back to my workplace, and there is a backyard there, like a big, huge backyard. It's like a oil factory or something where he works. I went back there and I buried the wife in that backyard.
Of the factory? Of
the factory.
Okay.
And I took my kids' bodies and I had to dump them in the oil tanks.
In the same factory?
In the same factory. So the police go and they definitely find the bodies there. But think logically. If you were Chris, okay, and you say you kill the kids for the wife because, you kill the wife because of the murder that she did of the kids, your first reaction would be to either like slap her really hard out of rage and call the police, right? Like that's the first thing that a person would do who's mentally stable, I would say. They would not go kill the wife, or even if they, let's say, out of anger, he even killed her. Okay? He would first call the police. Right? That's what an innocent person would do. And he wouldn't take the kids' bodies also and put it in the oil tanker and next day pretend like nothing happened.
I think he wanted to cover up the thing because now he killed off the wife. Now the police will get to know the wife is dead. Now when they come to check that, they'll see the kids also. So both the things will come on him. So this is the reason maybe he took both the bodies and tried to cover it up.
See, that's one way of thinking. I didn't think this way. I've always thought that if you are innocent, like somebody did something really bad to somebody in the house.
He was very angry when he came.
Yeah.
He seen the kids dead. Out of that anger, he killed her. Maybe. Now he has to hide her body. But while hiding her body, if at all the police or anyone gets to know, they obviously will come to check. So there will be the kid's body also. So to cover up, he tried to hide both of them.
That's one way of looking at it, but either ways it's a murder. No, one murder or 3 murders is a murder. I actually thought that if he was innocent, like if this would have happened, like she killed the kids, my instinct would be to restrain her or put her in the room, lock the door and call the police, right? Or at least I'll call the ambulance. I'm not sure, there could be a way to revive my kids, I don't know, right? I would even call the ambulance, but he didn't do any of that. Was suspicious. And that's why they took, okay, so all this happened, and then the police was like, you know what, we found 3 bodies, now we don't care who killed who, okay, looks like you killed all the 3 of them, and they charged him with 3 murders. Okay. So usually when this happens, not you, the culprit has to go to the court to either plead guilty or to plead not guilty, right? And he was, I think, in a state where he just wanted it to get over. Like he didn't want to deal with this anymore. And he, in the court, also accepted
That he is guilty. Okay.
that he is guilty. And he was charged with 5 terms of life penalty and without any bail or parole, as they call it. So he was in jail. Now maybe something happens, like this is only half the story. Like you know what happened, what not, but this is still only half the story.
Half?
Yes. It's half the story because there's a bunch of things that happen after this also. Okay. Before we actually move forward, I want to tell everybody that you can see there is updates in our equipment. We are actually upgrading our podcast, making it much, much better. So do support us during this journey.
Please.
So yeah, we will try and make it much better every episode. But I think with the last 3 or 4 episodes we did, no? In that I think we are doing good. I feel like the upgrade that we are doing is good. Let us know in the comments what you think. But okay, so let's go forward now. Alright, so this is only half the story. You know that he's already in jail and the mother and the 2 kids are dead. In jail, what happens? Maybe it's like, you know, when people are in jail, they know that they're never getting out, right? They just want to tell the real story to unburden themselves. Maybe that happens. So in between his sentence, he actually called the authorities and told them that I really want to meet with you again. I need to tell you something else. So the authorities come and then, you know, they start recording his statement again. And he tells them that that day she came back home. Okay, Shannon came back home. And I came back home as well. And I was really, really mad at her. I was like super mad at her that she just left like that. So I got really angry and I pushed her on the bed. I jumped on her because I was so angry. I jumped on her. So imagine she's 6 months pregnant. He's jumped on her and she's obviously screaming in pain, right? So he is kind of choking her, telling her, do not scream, you're making me angry, your voice makes me angry, like stop screaming. And she was not, obviously, like she's in pain, so she can't stop screaming, so he chokes her. He is on her and he's choking her to death. And very unfortunately, the kids saw this.
Oh.
So he took the wife's body, dumped it in the truck, took both the kids, made them sit in the truck with their mother's body, and drove to that site, that office site, right? And there he buried the mother while the kids were still in the car. Imagine the children would be trusting their father so much.
I know.
They're sitting in the car.
I thought they would be very scared or something.
They were scared. But where will they go? They didn't have the guts to even open the door and run away because it's their father. And they thought that obviously he's not going to hurt me. Why would he hurt me? Right? So they're sitting there. They're scared to death and they're just sitting there in the back of the car. And he's buried the wife. And then he goes back to the children. Right? The younger one, Cece. He takes a blanket, he puts it over her head in front of the elder daughter and he chokes her. And then he puts her aside and he takes the elder daughter and the daughter is asking him, are you going to do the exact same thing that you did to her to me also?
What?
And he says yes.
And she was watching all this and
she was watching and she was sitting in the car. Where else is she going to go? She's crying and she's sitting in the car watching all this. Then he takes the blanket and puts it on her head also. And the only thing he remembers from when he puts the blanket on her head is no daddy. and he strangles her also, and then takes both the bodies and then puts it into the oil tanks. And that's pathetic. I think it's super, super, super pathetic.
Feel it will be so scary for the children.
It's so terribly sad.
When they're watching their own siblings die and they're getting to know that it's their next turn.
Exactly. And imagine the situation. Like, you have seen your father kill your mother, you've seen your father kill your younger sibling, and you know you're next. And you're still sitting there because you have nowhere else to go. And that is terribly sad. The man doesn't even deserve to be in 5-term whatever jail. He doesn't deserve to be there. He deserves to be hanged. That's super, super sad. That the things that he has did. Now all this is fine. He's still in jail. Like, whatever, I don't know if whatever happened to him, but he's still in jail. All of this has happened, but there is a little side that I haven't told you yet, which has happened exactly when the police were at Chris Watts and Shannon Watts' house. They were investigating and whatnot, right? It seems when they were investigating, and probably we can add more videos on this on the channel, but it seems that when they were investigating, they could hear certain noises and voices, and they could see certain movements in the house.
In the house?
Yeah. So police usually have like body cams, and especially because if there is anything wrong that is happening, right? And I think in a way also, if anything wrong they are doing to someone, all of that is captured in the body cams. And I think it's a really good technology. It should be there around the world. But yeah, these body cams capture a lot of things. And that's why they don't really have to go for video evidences, because it's already there on their body, and everything that they are seeing is captured in the camera. So there are 2 police officers in the house. There is Chris Watt also in the house. When the police officers are like looking for evidences within the house to see if there is anything suspicious. And at that time, they see like a little figure, like a small girl's figure, kind of just walk through the stairs. You can see it, and it's like a actual body cam footage, which is there in police records.
It smells like cleaning.
By the way, okay, and there's also a part where
like it's visible.
Yeah, you can actually see it. You can actually see the
and the police didn't see that.
No, because they were doing their thing. No, they were looking for stuff, and the camera captured it.
So the camera is captured, but the police didn't see it.
The police didn't see it. The camera has captured it, and when they were looking through the videos to kind of put the evidence together during the court sessions, that's when they found this. Okay, and not just that, there is a door within the children's room, like a small room within the children's room where they keep children's clothes, toys, all of that. So a lady is going inside, like the police officer is going inside to see if there is anything suspicious, while she can hear mommy.
What?
Yeah, she can hear mommy, and somebody's giggling, like a small kid is giggling.
Yes.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. What in the world is that?
Wow. Yes.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. What in the world is that?
Right? That happened. So there are multiple instances where you can hear them actually calling out each other's names.
And this also the police.
No, they actually heard that.
They heard?
Yeah, they heard that. They heard that.
Oh.
And they were like, there is the footage. The footage also says, in that footage, the police officer also says, oh, what? So they can't really put like full footages, right? Because it's evidence at the end of the day. So they have very short, like 1.5 second, 2 second footages that show these things. And there is also so many, like there are consecutive footages where you can hear like, mommy, or Sisi, come here, like that.
Oh.
Evidence.
Yes. Yes.
Like that, and it is chilling in one way, but it's also sad in one way that somebody took their life. And maybe, like they say, na, the key spirits, when someone dies, their spirit comes back to the place where they're most comfortable,
Yeah.
or they like.
And they have not escaped.
Yeah, and they live there like as if it's normal, you know? They don't know they're dead. They're just living there as if it's normal. And that's why that thin layer between our reality and their reality, sometimes there is that, you know, it crosses the line. And when we hear things like that on our side of the reality. So there are so many footages like that show these little things. It's a little scary to watch, yes, but it's also a little sad to kind of see those footages. I don't think anybody deserves to die until they become
Yes,
old,
exactly.
right? And especially not like this. Accidents is one thing, but being killed by your own father, loved one, is
See,
terrible.
only ego and anger spoiled. They had a beautiful life.
Ego, anger, and lust also. Right? Maybe he was not very happy in the marital arrangement. Maybe she was too extroverted and he was too introverted, and this energies did not match. Maybe, right? But you can't just go killing people because you don't sync with them.
Yeah.
There is something called divorce. It's a better concept than murder, I think.
Yeah. Very scary. Crime and horror together.
Yeah, you can't really bracket this one. We can't say it's a crime or it's a horror. It's a very I don't know, it's just a sad story. This whole story is available on Netflix. There is a documentary. It's a Netflix documentary.
Oh.
I don't know what's the name. Maybe we'll put it in the description.
Okay.
But there is a Netflix documentary which actually talks about the Watts story. And if you are like interested in more details, like every bit of the way you want to know everything, maybe you should watch that documentary on Netflix. Okay, there is actually a little bit where the police has obviously like sealed the property, you know, because of all this. They've sealed the property. There is locks on all the entrances and exits, right? But the neighbors saw a woman. Like after all this happened, no, they saw a woman in the window somewhere. And after seeing that, they were like, they first called the police. They were like, if the property is sealed down, but we still think there's someone inside. And as an normal person, you will think that maybe she's
Some-
alive.
Or maybe someone is broken. And,
Oh yeah, somebody's broken, or maybe she's alive. Maybe there's a twist in the story. You know, there's a lot of curiosity that goes with it. But yeah, seems like the police came. They unlocked all the locks that they had on entrances, exits. They searched the whole property and did not find anyone.
so it was a ghost?
Yeah, and it seems like the property is 100% haunted. Like
Whoa.
it's declared that it is haunted.
Haunted house.
Yeah. Yeah.
Nice story.
Yeah, but imagine like living when you know that this something like this can happen in a very common, simple family. They could be living like 2 doors next to you, and you wouldn't know.
Ah. Very good story. Very scary story. Especially the second part. Wow.
Yeah, I also thought that everything got over by the first part, but there was twists and turns in the tale.
Wow.
But I think
I was imagining the story when you were telling it, and it was so scary.
it indeed is. Thank you so much for watching, everyone. We really appreciate you being here.